so just let me out.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me out.
Welcome to the first episode of Design to the Point. This abbreviated series will be design discussions surrounding a watch, and the watch today is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin 34, a watch that I believe does not receive nearly enough attention today. I'd imagine the reason why is the size, but for many of us who have wrists under 7 inches in diameter, this piece is a perfectly sized dress watch. Let's begin by breaking down the core elements. What works on this piece is that, like most JLC dress watches, the dial takes precedence. The lugs, rightly so, are tapered in and are short, allowing for the case to sit comfortably on smaller wrists. And then looking at the bezel to lug ratio, we can see that they are almost equal in thickness, which is seldom seen on a lot of dress watches nowadays. That inadvertently balances the proportions of the watch a lot more. The way the lugs are placed, they span out of the watch instead of tapering downwards, which again allows for it to fit on the wrist but also keeps the watch's presence low. If we move to the dial, it has a brushed silver texture, with no markings apart from the Jaeger-LeCoultre brand at the 12 o'clock position. Now this is when the watch gets interesting. The balance of the numerals relative to the batons is a masterpiece of design. The choice of font is reminiscent of Metro watches, with a more rounded aesthetic, and they all tie together very well. And the batons are sharp and jagged. These two elements conflict with each other, which is excellent, because the eye is drawn to them both equally. It is from the conflict do we see a balance on the dial. And then the hands tie them together, also being sharp and pointed, being arranged in such a way that light plays off their surfaces differently. In typical dress watch fashion, this piece does not have a seconds hand. It has a hand-wound mechanical movement and is ultra thin, and it sits on a leather strap. Some models are supplied with a phenomenal deployant clasp. And as a package, I don't think a modern dress watch can be any better. As a piece of design, it is so low-key and understated. With a touch of gold on the case, this watch has serious presence. I'll end by saying that if I was out to buy a dress watch right now, this would be the one for me.